The Mother Mother fanbase has been eating good this past year. Not only did we get Grief Chapter and its accompanying tour in 2024, but the band also put out the Mother EP with previously unreleased songs from their first ever album, expanded versions of nearly all of their albums with some rare bonus songs, and a compilation album with early demos of a ton of their songs. And finally, this past June, it all culminated with the release of their 10th album, Nostalgia. And of course, as is legally mandated in the very legitimate contract I signed when I made this channel, I have got to make a video talking about it. Considering both the name and timing of this record, having been released around Mother Mother's 20-year anniversary, there's definitely some self-reflection on the band's part within this album. So, come with me as I take a look through it and see what Nostalgia has to say about the past and future of Mother Mother. Nostalgia starts off strong with Love to Death, a song about how painful love can be. In the first and final verses, the speaker likens love to a razor blade. Razor blades are often associated with bringing pain, as their sharp edges means that using them to shave is a very delicate process. If you apply too little force, nothing gets done, but if you apply too much force, it's very easy to hurt yourself. This song then asserts that love is the same, a fragile balance between two people where the slightest mistake can cause a great deal of pain. Though, much like a razor blade can be used to shave oneself, there is still a legitimate reason to love. In the chorus, the speaker says that looking at love will burn your eyes, reinforcing the idea that love is painful, but they then go on to say if you close your eyes, you'll feel deprived. For being so focused on the negative aspects of love, the speaker seems strangely opposed to going without it. If love is so painful, why not escape from it all? It's because love, in many ways, is what gives people life, both in the literal sense with baby making, but also in the emotional sense. Without human contact of some kind, people start to feel lonely and aimless. We crave connection so much that, despite it being potentially painful, we continue to love all the way to our deaths. Now, for many Mother Mother fans out there, this song is already very familiar. Love to Death, for most of the band's history, has existed as a bootleg live version on YouTube, having been an unreleased song from the band's second album, Oh My Heart. And in fact, it was this very existence that led to it being included on this album, as the fan response to it was very positive. The unreleased version is pretty similar to the version on Nostalgia, with the most notable difference being the change in lead singer. Love to Death was originally sung by Deborah Jean Creelman, who was a founding member of the band alongside Ryan and Molly before she left after Oh My Heart's release. Now, Ryan sings the main vocals here, which is fine, but it's a little sad to lose a woman-led song. Deborah Jean's performance in the original is absolutely incredible, and I'd highly recommend listening to it. And also her solo work. It's super underrated, but really good, I promise, please! After this nostalgia trip of a song comes the much more energetic Make Believe, a song about belief systems that fall outside the norm. Make Believe is chock full of allusions to things such as unicorns, leprechauns, and even Greek mythology. The sheer number and variety of these references creates a broad world in which the speaker inhabits. They pick and choose with reckless abandon what they do and don't believe, giving way to a belief system that looks a lot more like a child playing in a sandbox instead of a devout follower of any one set of ideals. This is further solidified with the speaker saying that they'd believe if someone said the world was just a peach dripping with a juice so sweet. The speaker here sees the world as a fruit, something that has flavor ripe for the picking. Though the fact that the song also touches on themes surrounding death, consciousness, and what life truly is, shows a deeper meaning to these whimsical ideals. As silly as it seems, this form of eternal play shows how to find meaning within a meaningless existence. If we're gonna be on this earth for such a short amount of time, and there are so many ways to think about it, well, You might as well choose the thoughts that make you the happiest. This was the first single released from the album, and thus what has been chosen to represent this entire era of Mother's history. Given its playful nature, this seems to be a sign that the band wants to go in a more playful direction. We've already seen this happening with how prominent the punicorn imagery has been recently. While it does come off as a little silly, I think it's nice seeing the band lean into their quirkier side. I'm personally always a sucker when it comes to anything with an upbeat twist, so for the band to be centering their entire branding around this kind of stuff is good in my book. Next comes Station Wagon, a much more stripped-back song about how total freedom can come at a cost. The song starts off pretty violent with its imagery, mentioning blood and guts and extinction, and making an allusion to the movie Thelma and Louise. Now, spoilers, but Thelma and Louise is a movie wherein the titular women embark on an impromptu run from the authorities that ends with them being cornered on the Grand Canyon and driving their car into it. This all contributes to an image of danger and destruction. Whatever trip the speaker has planned here doesn't seem to be one of easygoing relaxation or sightseeing. The reason for this violence is found in the bridge, where the speaker assigns the words dark and cruel to a road that only goes so far from home and a parked car respectively. The negative connotation of these words shows that the speaker clearly finds these sights disturbing. They need some kind of path laid out for them to travel on, some way to continue moving, seeing anything else as inherently bad in some way. This aversion to stillness then is what leads them to the violent scenes of the first verse. They keep driving, even past safety, even into danger, because stagnation is a fate much worse in their eyes. Let me just say that this song really impressed me on my first listen. I remember hearing the intro and my jaw just dropped. Outside of whatever message it has, I just think it's an incredibly produced song. And that outro is once again familiar for Mother fans out there, as the music box that concludes Station Wagon is taken from the band's cover of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. I'm not sure this has any significance to the overall message, but it does continue a theme of bringing back old ideas into a new light. The energy then ramps back up with On and On, an upbeat song about appreciating loved ones in an unappreciative world. The verses contain various compliments the speaker has for the recipient of the song, which are interspersed with the repetition of the line, "Someone stop me, I'll go on and on." It's interesting that the speaker asks for someone to stop them from saying these nice things. Not to get all philosophical about the song or anything, but there's a common fear about being too upfront with your love. Especially forms of non-romantic love are often seen as less important and thus less important to express loudly. While the speaker is able to, there is still a hint of doubt that what they're saying is somehow wrong, or at least the world at large would view it as wrong. The societal context is extended by the speaker calling the world sick, expressing wonder at how the recipient got in and saying that they are not like it. When love is frowned upon, it can seem like there is no one out there that is truly genuine. And yet, the speaker seems to have found this person despite this. There's even a sense of infiltration in how the speaker describes them as getting into the world, as if this is somehow a secret mission to spread positivity everywhere. Ultimately, though, On and On is just a sweet song about loving your friends. And, as you can probably guess, the intended speaker-recipient duo are Ryan and Jasmin, seeing as her name is in the title of the song and they feature prominently in the music video. Though the specific wording of Song for Jasmin harkens back to some more obscure Mother lore. A song from their second album, Arms Tonight, originally existed as a demo with the subtitle A Song for Jasmin, which we can see in a TikTok the band posted back in 2021. According to Ryan, the song was originally made as a love song for Jasmin, and this origin now lives on in an official way inside of Nostalgia. The demo itself is actually included on their Demos album, and it's honestly one of my favorites, so I'd recommend taking a listen. Next comes Better of Me, a song about how striving for goodness can be a painful battle. The through line for this entire song is the phrase, "the better of me." The specific phrasing of this title has a double meaning. The obvious connection is that this is their better half, the part of themselves that is capable of doing good, though it also sounds very similar to the phrase, "to get the better of me," which means to take advantage of or to one-up someone. It could be that the speaker somehow views these nicer impulses as a challenge, something to overcome rather than embrace, or they otherwise see their true self as lower than that kindness. Throughout the song, the speaker details how they mistreated this part of themselves, apologizing for this behavior and yet still feeding into it. The song then culminates in the speaker telling the better of them that they simultaneously need, love, and hate them. It's one thing to know what's right, and an entirely different task to practice it. Admitting that there is room to grow means that you aren't a perfect person, that there is still some better version of you out there that you aren't being, and the speaker resents this fact. Staying bad feels much easier for them than confronting their own mistakes and insecurities, and yet, the seed is still planted. They acknowledge this dichotomy, which hopefully will lead them to becoming the better of them eventually. The placement of this song right after On and On seems significant, considering Better of Me is led by Jasmin and On and On was meant for Jasmin. This shows that behind every seemingly perfect person, there is a part of themselves that still feels painful to carry, though this only serves to strengthen On and On's message with added depth, showing that people can be imperfect and still act as perfectly as they possibly can on the outside. You may have also noticed another detail about the song, its intro and outro. It uses a sample titled Bossa Nova Style, which, if you're cool, you may have either heard from Minecraft's Chirp music disc or Little Big Planet's Orb of Dreamers. I don't know how fans, I guess you get a pass. For now. This likely wasn't an intentional connection, but I find it fascinating that the sample is connected to two franchises which are heavily associated with nostalgia. I know it certainly took me back to my childhood hearing the beginning of the song for the first time. But moving on, next we get the short and sweet Namaste, a song about facing pain rather than running from it. The speaker starts by describing the idea of meditation and leaving one's mind, finding that they can't go along with people that do this, but that they have ruled this okay, saying they find value in pain. At first, this seems to be them admitting defeat. Instead of this conclusion being something that the speaker came to, they instead tried their best to follow everyone else and then just had to accept that they couldn't. But another way of looking at it could be that they just found this way of thinking didn't work for them. They're too connected with their pain not because it harms them, but because it gives them some kind of value. This is further expanded with how the speaker contrasts the two worldviews. It seems mundane how these meditators are described saying little things in their sitting pose, whereas the speaker describes themselves as letting in everything. If you're busy trying to shut yourself off from yourself and your pain, it can be easy to shut off the entire rest of the world. And pain, while of course being painful, can still offer opportunities for growth. At the very least, accepting it allows it to mean something other than just the negative emotions. This song is what closes off the first half of the album. Let me just say, and I'm 100% biased here, but these songs have been really good so far. As I said before, Station Wagon made my jaw drop the first time I heard it, but honestly, each of these songs have something good to appreciate. Love to Death revives an old classic with a new coat of paint. Make Believe has an insanely catchy sound. On and On is a sweet moment between two of the band members, and Namaste is painfully tender in the best way possible. Mother truly does not miss when it comes to their music, and nostalgia is not an exception. Getting back into it though, the next song, Finger, takes a bold stance against double standards in society. There's a lot that could be analyzed with this song, but perhaps the most prominent section which I will now read in full, goes as follows. It's funny how a man feels ashamed when a woman puts a finger in his ass, but the feeling is great. You shouldn't feel ashamed if the feeling is great. If the feeling is great, you shouldn't feel ashamed. Bars. The meaning of these lyrics is clearly one of self-acceptance. In today's society, and honestly throughout much of history, it's been frowned upon to participate in whatever is seen as straying from the norm. Despite the fact that, in this case, the man can't control how he feels things, he would still be shamed for taking pleasure from something that is associated with submission. The song continues with this, all the while keeping its absurd sense of humor until the bridge, where suddenly the speaker says that you gotta laugh because it hurts too much to cry. Now this line is one of my favorites in the entire album. I'm sure your first reaction upon hearing this song for the first time, as was mine, was to giggle at the goofy premise. It's pretty jarring to hear a man say with his full chest not more than 5 seconds into a song the words finger in his ass. And yet, as this song points out, this sort of thing only tickles us because otherwise we'd have to confront the truth in the statement, that this kind of thing is frowned upon for absolutely no reason. According to the shorts promoting this song's initial release as a single, Finger is a sort of sibling to the song Verbatim, which was released on their first album Touch Up. Verbatim comments on the pressure society puts on men to perform their masculinity with an equally as absurd opening verse. From the start, Mother Mother has been a band that advocates for the freedom to express and be one's true self. While Finger is a goofy song and you're clearly not supposed to take it super seriously, there is still a deeper meaning hidden within. It's incredible not only to see this coming from a band that got their start in the mid-2000s, but to see this consistently coming from them back then up until now. Next up on the track list is Me and You, a simple song about wanting to find stable love. Throughout the song, the speaker proposes to the recipient a life of love for the both of them, all the while using words such as maybe, could, and crazy. The dismissive wording here makes the ideas presented feel more dreamlike. The framing of a hypothetical implies that this life is a fantasy for these two people, and with the context of the album, this view is even clearer, considering there is a song literally titled Love to Death on it. After a life being surrounded by heartbreak, it seems like this speaker has finally found true love. The song also uses the phrase take care of quite frequently. In fact, it seems to use it in place of the word love, seeing as the word is never actually said. This strikes at the core of what it means to become committed to someone as a life partner. To love is not just to be passionate towards someone, but to take care of them and to let them take care of you. Also, it is quite literally how humanity has historically survived, making bonds and keeping each other alive. Me and You is just a very sweet little song and is arguably the first actual love song Mother Mother has made. The closest thing I could think of is Love It Dissipates, great song by the way, but even that has its own edge to it. This could be a sign of a more optimistic future for Mother Mother's music. The band has never been fully pessimistic, but their music does tend to have a certain angst to it. Though now, with this song and on before it, we're getting some happier music from them. So let's change that. In waltzes in the all lowercase Little Mistake, a song about how fragile these bonds between people can be. Throughout the song, the speaker talks about how little mistakes can cause a lot of pain, specifically talking about how every little big thing can take these mistakes and blow them out of proportion. This invites an active role for the world around us in how we perceive pain, since it isn't necessarily the mistake that causes it, but how that mistake is taken in context. For example, if someone's already feeling bad, even if they don't crack in the moment, it leaves them weakened for whenever something minor comes along. This is best captured by how the third verse juxtaposes happy little baby and silly little monster. For many, having a baby can be a very big moment in their life, for better or for worse. Negative emotions of stress and fatigue surround the introduction of this child. And by the way this line is worded, the speaker doesn't want to say this outright, but it still slips through by calling the baby a monster. No matter how many positive adjectives you add, this is still something that has caused pain just by existing, a small action that has caused a lot of pain. Though in general, it's just a very relatable feeling to be dealing with a life-altering experience, and yet to be broken by something seemingly so mundane. And the song does an excellent job at conveying that in a heartbreakingly tender way. The use of baby imagery in this song is significant, considering it's a staple within Mother Mother's discography. And not only that, but the specific baby monster juxtaposition was originally used in their song Businessman. Something else to point out is how this song has a part where the speaker counts 1, 2, 3, which is similar to how in Me and You, the speaker counts 1, 2. It could be showing how a new addition in a happy relationship, such as a baby, can spell disaster. Maybe I'm looking too far into it, but there does seem to be a thematic connection between a lot of the songs on this album. Make Believe and Station Wagon touch on freedom, On and Better of Me touch on goodness, and now Me and You and Little Mistake touch on relationships, along with Love to Death before them. Each of these shared themes show the good and bad sides of the ideas, giving a far more nuanced look into them. Both the good and bad are laid out and given their time to breathe. But what happens if this dichotomy is the one that lives inside? Mano, through its use of metaphors, explores what it means to be a real man. The speaker first says that he isn't a real man, highlighting his existence as a flower child and an inner self that he describes as both a bulbolistic and a delinquent. The fact that the speaker says that neither side of himself is a real man is striking, considering that these metaphors seem to be polar opposites. While this inner self the speaker describes seems to be the textbook definition of masculinity, it's described as two things that are mainly focused on mindless destruction and mayhem. On the flip side, his outer self is described as both a flower, the prominent image of pacifism, and a child, who are otherwise seen as weak and defenseless. Neither are really positive symbols, but they cover an entire spectrum, leaving no room for a true answer. So, the speaker tries to figure out what is a real man, eventually coming to the conclusion that a real man is the mama of a war. This metaphor takes the two sides of himself that the speaker describes earlier and brings them together. Here, the softer side serves as a way to keep the monstrous side in check. The fact that the soft side is portrayed as a mother also conveys a sense of shaping this darker side as it develops. This means that a real man is someone who can be both strong and also someone who has enough restraint to know when to use that strength. Yet again, Mother fans are already well acquainted with this song as yet another one of Ryan's solo songs that have now landed themselves on an album. Between this and End of Me, I gotta say, these unreleased songs are truly some incredible songs. Though, while Mano is definitely shaping up to be my favorite song on Nostalgia, the rest of the tracks have been just as incredible. Finger is just a really good time. Me and You is an unflinchingly feel-good song, and I frequently find Little Mistake stuck in my head with its simple yet powerful vocal melodies. And now comes the title track, Nostalgia, a song about nostalgia. Shocker. The speaker connects the feeling of nostalgia with words such as traitor, scoundrel, and hoarder, while lamenting the fact that they want to crash back into their youth. Nostalgia is personified in this song to symbolize how people can have very strong emotional connections with certain objects or ideas. The speaker describes this as nostalgia stealing these things, which implies that maybe there's some past that the speaker doesn't want to be reminded of and is whenever they see these objects. However, even when the speaker describes their own desire to go back to the past, it still seems like it isn't all that great either, being described as something violent. This creates a clear dissonance between the speaker's yearning for the past and what the reality may have been. This comes to a head with the final line of the song, where the speaker asks Nostalgia, "What would we do without you?" Because it's open-ended, this question can be interpreted in many ways, but I think it has to do with how nostalgia can put rose-tinted glasses on the past, no matter how bad it really was to live through it. Instead of focusing on all the negativity, nostalgia allows us to experience a version of our lives that was the good old days. Of course, it can hurt not to be able to enjoy those memories in the present, or to be able to go back to them, but it can at least give an idea on how to move forward and create an even better present. The idea of nostalgia is clearly integral to the entire album. The album is named after it, obviously, but there are also 3 previously unreleased songs on the album, several recurring themes throughout Mother Mother's discography that make an appearance here, and most of the songs abandon the band's modern hard rock style for something more stripped back, not unlike their older material. Though this new sound feels like a much more mature take on their old sound, informed by everything that's come out since then. With now 20 years under their belt, nostalgia is a statement from Mother Mother on where they are, where they've been, and where they want to go next. We'll have to wait and see just where they end up, but I have a feeling that wherever it is, the band is going to strive to be as authentic to themselves as possible, not shackled by the change of the past or even the present. And speaking of, to close off this album comes To Regret, a short, beautiful song about accepting past mistakes. The speaker first touches on how regret has made them lose so much time, along with their shine and pride. Regret can make someone feel bad in many ways. Not only is there the immediate shame of having done something regrettable, but there are lasting consequences of never being able to take it back. Kind of like the feeling of nostalgia, regret tends to be so powerful due to its lasting nature. Both are the feeling of looking back and realizing that the past is gone, with regret specifically highlighting the inability to fix the mistakes you've made. Though, while this appears to be all negative, the speaker eventually concludes that I wouldn't be me with no regrets. As the song points out, no regrets is a pretty common phrase, but not unlike the song Namaste, the song takes that common phrase and goes against it, advocating for acceptance over just ignoring the problem. While regret can definitely feel bad, it's also very humbling. It allows for someone to grow and mature into a better person. The fact that the speaker specifically brings up losing their shine and their pride adds on to this, as those are both things that, if in excess, can make someone act worse towards others. Without the ability to learn from our past mistakes, we wouldn't be the same people we are now, because we would just keep making those same mistakes over and over again. While confronting the past is daunting, everything, both the good and the bad, led us to the present. And the present is what will eventually lead us into the future, through new journeys and new regrets, but also new love, new happiness, and, for Mother Mother, new music. While I'm obviously ecstatic about the old songs that we got last year, I'm glad that they decided to go with releasing a new album for this important milestone. Mother Mother has definitely never been a band that gets stuck on one thing for too long, and this just proves that even after 20 years, they're still as strong as ever. I, for one, am loving what we've gotten, and I'm just as excited to see what comes next. That's all I have to say though, so I'll see you next time, and have a good day.